This is a film that I have been very much looking forward to seeing for a very long time, because when I saw that trailer, I saw the premise, I was thinking, man, that's some dark shit. I'm really intrigued. It's a pretty bleak and violent story, yet at the center of this movie, honest to God, is the story of friendship and brotherhood, and it's very powerful. And it really matters a lot, especially in times like today where we are just so polarized and utterly feels like we're against each other a lot of the times. So sit back and let's talk about The Long Walk. Okay, as I said at the start of this movie, I've been pretty excited to see this movie. I've been watching the days count down till I knew this movie was coming to cinemas, and now that it's here, man, oh man, I can say it really did live up to my hype. It really did. The Long Walk is about a group of guys that sign up for a life or death competition, but unlike something like Squid Game or the Hunger Games, there's no fighting in this. All you have to do to win is walk. You've got to walk, and you've got to walk, and you've got to walk, and you've got to be the last person standing, and the one who makes it all the way to the end, which, by the way, there is no finish line. It's literally waiting for someone to drop out and keep dropping, and eventually when there's nobody left except for one person, the game is over and that person wins a ton of money. So it sounds extremely risky, right? Why would somebody sign up for something so damn dangerous knowing that everybody except one person is going to get their ticket, which, by the way, is this movie's way of saying you're going to die? Well, the reason is simple. These are people who feel financially strapped and they are at their wits' end. This is a very dark time that they are living in. It's got a dystopian vibe going on, and everybody in this movie feels like they need to win this money for some particular reason, and everybody has their story. And as you experience this movie and get to know more about the different people in the competition, you find out more about why each of them are there, and that's what really makes this movie have so much heart. The Long Walk stars Cooper Hoffman, son of the legendary and very much missed Philip Seymour Hoffman. It also stars David Jonsson, who's going to be familiar to audiences from last year's movie Alien Romulus. It also has Ben Wang, Charlie Plummer, Tut Nyuot, and Mark Hamill. Starting with Cooper, I want to say I think he did a really solid job in this movie. He may not have quite the gravitas and big personality that his father Philip had, but he is carrying his own, and I think Philip would be quite proud to see what his son is capable of doing, because I really did care about this character quite a bit. He plays a character named Raymond Garrity, and this is a guy that you really are going to root for and feel sympathetic for, because as you find out more about him, actually in the beginning of this movie, you see him with his mom, and you know how she's got to be feeling, right? Because she knows what the stakes are in this game, and just sending your son off to that, I cannot imagine. I would not approve. I would not approve at all. But he's doing this because he really wants to help his mom, and his performance really did stand out. He's got a bright future ahead of him for sure. Now, David Jonsson, I think this guy is the VIP of this film. His character really is so easy to root for. He's compassionate, he's charming, there's something so familiar about him. You feel like this is a guy like, yeah, I would hang out with this guy. I would want to get to know more about this guy, and you do get to know a lot about him. And I think one of the most powerful things about this movie is this bond that you see between these two characters. These two have a very tight thing going on, and you would think that since this is a walk to the death and everybody wants to win the money, that there would be no camaraderie going on, but that's exactly the opposite of what you see in this movie. You see a brotherhood, and it really is quite powerful, and it's not just between these two, it's between multiple of these characters, and that's what's really powerful. Mark Hamill plays the grizzly general in this movie, and it's not clear to me if he's the one who started the Long Walk, but he is for sure the one overseeing it now, and he is for sure a complete asshole in this movie. It's the first time I've seen Mark Hamill in a role, and I thought, man, I would really like to punch Luke Skywalker. This man is evil in this movie, but he does it with that charm that Mark Hamill does. His voice is hella grizzly now that he's gotten older. I'm starting to wonder if he could still actually pull off that Joker voice that he's so known for from that Batman animated series. But yeah, another solid performance from Mark Hamill. Total douchebag vibes. Another notable mention in this film is Ben Wang. This guy offers the movie's most comedic moments. Now, you would think a movie like this, where the premise is so bleak and somber, that there'd be nothing to laugh about, but Ben Wang brings the laughs in this movie. He had not only me laughing, but he also had multiple people in the audience laughing, and I think he did a really good job. How talented do you have to be able to sell humor in a movie where people are dying for or coming to a slow speed. By the way, that is the rules. If you drop below 3 miles per hour, you get your ticket. That's what they call it, but really that's just a bullet to the head. But circling back to Ben Wang, yeah, he's awesome in this movie. I really enjoyed him. He is a standout. Francis Lawrence is the guy who brought us this movie, and he also is the guy who directed the Hunger Games movie, which really fits right in with this guy's comfort zone. He understands how to deliver a dystopian story filled with violence. But one of the things I think works out so well with this movie is that Francis doesn't get too focused on the violence. Yes, there is violence in this movie. There's gore. There's really some nasty stuff. You gotta have slightly strong stomach for this movie. But at the end of the day, he keeps bringing it back to these guys and their bond and their brotherhood and getting to know more about them. There's these dark, horrible moments that are brought back with these heartfelt moments. And I think Francis did a very good job making sure that this movie didn't become nothing but a gore fest, but a story with heart and characters that you can root for. I've been thinking about this movie almost nonstop since I left the cinemas, and it's been a long time since a movie hit me to this extent. There was multiple times in this movie where I had tears in my eyes, and I did not mind it. It made me feel very emotional, and I liked that. But it made me laugh as well. This movie has a good balance of all the different kinds of feelings that you would want to have. It's an easy instant day one buy for me. I'm for sure gonna pick this up when it comes to physical 4K. I'm impressed with this entire cast. I really feel like this is a haunting, somber, beautiful story. It's one of the best movies I've seen all year, I would say, and maybe even a long time. It really has moved me. In fact, I am heavily debating seeing this movie a second time in theaters. And I don't see movies twice in cinemas usually. The last time I saw a movie twice in cinemas was that movie Challengers. Don't judge. I think it's a great movie. If you haven't seen it, check it out. But this is another one that I'm thinking, man, I might have to see this again because I'm thinking about this movie way too much to just leave it at this one viewing. For me, this movie is a 10. It's an absolute masterpiece. It's such a beast of a movie that it is just gonna stick with you. I guarantee when this movie ends, it's gonna be on your mind. And I wanna give an extra special shout out to Jeremiah Freites. I think that's how I say his name. He is the composer of this movie, and man, the haunting score that he does is filled with pianos. It's a very beautiful track. It's actually earned its way into my rotation already. I was listening to the soundtrack the whole way to work and the whole way back. It's a soundtrack that's really sticking with me, and so that's something that if you're into musical scores like I am, that's gonna stand out to you. You're gonna really like it. That's my thoughts on this movie, guys. If you liked this movie or if you've seen it, put your thoughts on it in the comments. If you haven't seen it yet, I highly recommend checking it out. You gotta have a little bit of a strong stomach because there's some gore going on, but it's worth seeing because this movie has a very beautiful message. And that message, like I said, it's about friendship and brotherhood and finding a united cause that we can all just push towards. We don't all have to be against each other all the times. You know, it's really frustrating how it feels like we're always at polar opposites of everything. This movie is about people who are kind of in opposite situations with opposite mindsets, and yet in the end, there is something stronger going on here that brings them together. That's my thoughts on this movie. If you liked this video, go ahead and hit the like button. And if you want to hear more things from me, subscribe to this channel. Later.